Making money from cryptocurrency is simple, but not easy because there's so many moving parts. So if you're focused on making some really nice profits, but you want to really know what's happening with Bitcoin, and today is part two of a 10-part series, and we're really going to set some time targets. Whether you're a novice or an experienced trader, having time targets is a really powerful resource that can give you a really massive clue on what's likely to happen, knowing that markets are driven by fear and greed, and the psychology tends to play out. But there's also rhythms and cycles. So what we know with Bitcoin, we're on a weekly chart right now, is the top was on November 2021. We've been massively down for well over a year, hitting the $15,000 mark. But recent times we've had this move to the upside, and it seems quite impulsive. And that's a big clue that we might be going on to a new trend that may last a number of months. But what is the typical time period that sideways to up movement will occur? Well, what we don't know, there's a few different, I call it wave counts. There's a few different wave counts that we can do on the macro picture. But what we do know, pretty much with a high degree of confidence, this looks pretty impulsive to the downside. Right? There's a couple of wave counts, but because this part here is also impulsive, it tells us that the market is likely to continue to the upside. After a trend has moved to the downside, the minimum expectation is a three-wave correction. So we can be confident that Bitcoin is going to do at least three waves to the upside. So we can now set some time targets and project these in advance to see when are the key dates that we want to be aware of, firstly on a macro. And as we go further down into this 10-part series, I'm going to get into detail, like real detail. But the first part, I just want to give a macro feel so we know we're likely to be sideways to up for a number of months. And by the way, we're going to finish today on a quote from Socrates. We're going to go in some wisdom because we can learn from those that came before us. So let's just do something called Fibonacci time. We're going to take this high to this low, and we want to take this low over here. And there's three key ratios that are projected. Now, I just want to touch upon these. This one is the 38.2%, this is 62%, and this is 100%. And you may be thinking, Jiggy, what the heck are these time retracements? It's not very commonly used. It's basically what was shown with time, over time, and decades worth of data in all markets, not just cryptocurrency, that is buying and selling cycles, and it's fear and greed playing out. And if we are only going to get some type of three-wave correction, it will typically be within this range. So we can be pretty confident that the markets are going to be sideways to up for a number of months until at least early April, but possibly towards the end of November. But the typical high probability is actually these two first lines. This is the minimum, and this is the high probability maximum. That's pretty just, it's very common. So we're talking about beginning of April to the beginning of July. We can be quite confident that the market should be moving sideways to up. Now, in the next part, I'm going to be going into price targets. That's right. Price targets. What are the key price ratios as a minimum, typical, and maximum that we want to be ready for with what Bitcoin is likely to do? Now, if you want to stay on top of Bitcoin with key information as it occurs, make sure you take advantage of my free weekly Bitcoin report. It's basically when there's new information that's really timely, I do a new video, post it out. It's a video report, and it's a free membership area with a few extra goodies as well. That's in the link below. Make sure you check it out. And today we're going to finish on a quote. It's from Socrates, and he says this: "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." It's been shown with neuroscience that we operate 95% unconsciously. So the thoughts that are ingrained in our mind from when we're younger and from key moments in life are literally forming our life. And this is great, what Socrates said. He said the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, because sometimes it's just stuff that's not great in your life, and it might be the thing that's playing over and over again, but on building the new, on what you want to happen, and then you can be impeccable with your word and speak those into existence.